Hello and welcome to this new course in which I'm going to teach you how to use and master Google Classroom. Do you have access to a Gmail account or Google Apps for education? Are you tired of printing, collecting, and grading worksheets using pen and paper? Do you want to create a dynamic lessons for your students that help engage them in new ways? Then this is the right course for you. In this course, you will learn in a simple to follow lessons that will show you how to use Google Classroom like a master. With Google Classroom, teachers can create dynamic lessons that are student-centered, collaborative, and memorable. Like you, I'm a teacher and educator that is trying to find ways to engage my students fully. I've been teaching for 12 years now. Now, I have a lot of experience regarding teaching, and in the past few years, I started using online classrooms to teach my students online. Google Classroom provides an easy-to-use learning management system that students of all levels will be able to interact with. I've taken the time to explore the pros and cons of Google Classroom, and I have easily identified the common pitfalls that come with using something new. At the end of this course, you will be able to use Google Classroom like a professional, and you will be able to create engaging lessons for your students. With Google Classroom, you will be able to teach your students at all times, whether they are in school or at home. Online teaching with Google Classroom is a new experience, and when dealing with new experiences, you usually have a lot of things to deal with. In this course, I will let you know how to get started with Google Classroom right from scratch. You will learn how to use Classroom to manage coursework, organize assignments, boost collaboration, and foster better communication. You will use Google Classroom to focus less time on tech and more time on teaching. And Google Classroom certainly has lived up to its billing. You don't have to worry about the technology, you just need to teach and do your best. Classroom has streamlined the classroom workflow and makes communication easier between teachers and students. At its core, Google Classroom does a few things and does them really well. It creates a central home for class activities. It lets teachers create assignments. It collects assignments from students. It also helps teachers grade assignments and provide feedback. It returns assignments to students. It also provides setup inside your classroom. Now, in this course, I will help you to set up your account and to sign up for Google Classroom using a free account. You don't have to pay anything. And I'm sure that at the end of this course, you will be able to teach anything using Google Classroom. Thanks for watching this introduction. This is Ashraf from Coding Academy. Now, what you will learn in this course. First, you will understand how Google Classroom works and its impact on teaching and learning. You will also learn best practices for creating engaging assignments in Google Classroom. You will be able to create quizzes and tests that automatically grade themselves, and I will also teach you how you can make these quizzes and tests time limited and how you can change the questions so that each student will get different questions. You will learn how to set up your class in Google Classroom, how to change classroom settings to encourage a positive learning environment, how to enroll students into a classroom, how to create assignments and announcements. You will learn how to communicate with students using Google Classroom and how you can send announcements. Now, This is a fully functional, state-of-the-art teaching experience, and I'm sure that you will enjoy creating a new class in Google Classroom. It will be your #1 home for online classes after this course. Thanks for watching this quick intro. Now let's talk about 10 reasons to use Google Classroom. First, it's easy to learn, very little training required, and in less than 2 hours you will be able to do anything using Google Classroom. It has a very clean design that you can easily interact with. It keeps work organized for students. It has full integration with Google Drive, which is a very known and common online storage. It offers a simple way to get started with creating a paperless classroom. It also enhances communication with students. Files are automatically duplicated for each student. You don't have to duplicate the homework for each of them. Integrates well with the iPad, which is most students have and use. It's a Google product, so expect continued improvements. They keep improving the platform monthly. It allows you to focus on teaching and learning, not on the technology. These are the top 10 reasons that will encourage you to use Google Classroom. Plus, it's free. You can create a free account using any Gmail account. Thanks for watching this lesson. This is Coding Academy. Now, the first step in this course is exploring Google Classroom from a teacher perspective. The first thing that we are going to do is creating and customizing a new class. We will start adding students and we will explain digital workflow for assignments and for announcements and email. We will also explain the integration with Google Drive and a lot of other stuff that are important for the teacher. Now let's get started on how to create an account and how to create your first class in Google Classroom. Now the first step for you to start using Google Classroom is to have a Gmail account. Now some institutions, if you are an instructor inside an institution, you will most likely have access to the Google Apps for education. Now, this is basically a service that Google provides. G Suite for education, and it comes with an email address that you already receive from your institution or school or university. So depending on where you are right now, you can use this email. If you access Gmail account using this email, it means that you can use Google Classroom using this email. If not, you have to create your very own Gmail account by going to gmail.com. Now, you need to click on create an account. Now, it will ask you for your first name and your last name. Here you need to write a username and you need to write a password that you do remember. Click next. Once you double check the password, now you can write an email address for recovery. And you can write other information like your birthday. Then next. Now, as you can see, you have to agree to their privacy and terms. Click I agree. Now click again. Refresh the page. That's it. This is our Gmail account. Now, if you clicked here, this is your email address. Now, the next step will be going here on the 3 dots and scrolling, as you can see, you will see a classroom icon. Click on it. Or the alternative way is going to classroom, the domain classroom.google.com. It will also give you access to the same location. Now, as you can see, Classroom helps classes communicate, save time, and stay organized. You need to choose a Gmail account, which is the one that we just created, and click continue. Now, this is your Google Classroom. And this is how easy it is to create a Classroom account. In the next lesson, we will start creating classes, and I will explain to you how you can easily join any class. Thanks for watching this lesson. This is Ashraf from Coding Academy. Now, the first step was going to classroom.google.com. Google Classroom is now available for Google for Education accounts as well as regular Gmail accounts, and we are using regular Gmail account. Anyone with a Google account can use Google Classroom. Now, to create our first class, what we need to do is simple. You need to go to the plus sign here, click once, and you will have two options. The first option is join a class. If you want to join a class that is already created by someone else, you need to click here, and it will ask you for the class code. Usually, the class code is provided by the instructor to their students. So, you will paste the class code here and click join. Now, in our case, we need to create a new class. We don't want to join a class. So, click once and click on the create class button. Now, if you are getting started for the first time, you will be asked every time you create a new class to check the I've read and understand the above notice, and I'm not using Classroom at a school with students. Now, as you can see, this is privacy and security terms, and you have to accept them to continue. Now click continue, and as you can see here, we have different items that we need to fill. First, you must add a name for your class. This is how your students will identify your class when they open Google Classroom. And let's call it Google Classroom Training. Now, use the section field to differentiate between different classes of the same type. Many teachers will use this field for the class period. Now, this field is optional, so you can skip it, or you can add two sections. The first one is here, and you can create another class with the same name, but with a different section. Now, the third thing is the subject field that lets you choose from a list of class subjects or type your own. This field is also optional. You can write, let's say, educational, since this is an educational class. Let's call it class, Google Classroom class. Okay. Now, once you are done, you can even select a room. So let's say that you need to create 3 rooms for a single class. This will be your first room. Your second class will be with the same name, the same section, the same subject, but with a different room number. And you can add different people to the second classroom. And you will only have one classroom, so we can skip these, but I will add one just to show you that we have one room. And if I want to create another room, I can simply click the plus sign. Once you are done, click the create button here, and it will start creating your account. Now, as you can see, this is our class page, and from this class page, you can easily recognize that we have a class code here. Now, the class code written here can be copied as you can see, this is the class code. You can copy the class code, double click or right click and copy, or you can double click and use Ctrl C. Now once you copy this, you can send it to anyone and ask them to enter Google Classroom using the same method that we just mentioned on how to create an account on Google Classroom, but instead of creating a class, they will join a class. Now, to join a class, you can simply go back to Classes and click here, Join Class, and they can paste the code for your class here. And they can click Join. Now, something went wrong here because the code that we just provided is for our class. We can't join our own class because we are already there. But however, I have another account that I will use to demonstrate this. So let me go inside my other account. This is my second account. Now I will click here and click Join Class, and I will enter my class code here. Once I click Join, it won't take long and the class will appear on my other account. As you can see, this is another email address and this is the class page. Now, again, once your class is created, students can start joining it, and this is what I just explained. Students can join your class with a join code, which is this code, and if you clicked here, you can get a large version of the code. This is a quick, easy way to get students into your class. By displaying the join code, you can click this icon. Students can log in to Google Classroom, click the plus sign button and join the class to enter the join code. Then they are added to your class. We can also invite students to our class by email. This is a good option if students don't meet in person for your class, and to do this, you need to click the People here tab. Now this People tab will be used to display your students here, and you can also use it to invite students. Now, to invite new students, you can simply click here. And as you can see, you can either copy this invite link and send it to your students so that they can enter using this link and sign in with their Gmail account, or we can type the name or email for our students. We can simply type an email, and as you can see, this is the email address. Once you select it, you can click invite. An invitation will be sent to the student's email so that he can log into your classroom. You can even invite teachers. If the class has 2 teachers, you can click the plus sign and type the email for the other teacher to invite him. He must log into his Gmail account and accept the invitation and create a Google Classroom account. That's it for this lesson. We explained how you can create your first class, how to invite people to join your first class using the code or using their email. Thanks for watching this lesson. This is Ashraf from Coding Academy. Hello and welcome to this new lesson in which we are going to explain how to customize your Google Classroom. There won't be any students in your class the moment you create it. This is the time to get creative and have some fun with it. You can click on select a theme. So let's go back to our stream, and as you can see, this is our main page, which is the stream page. You can click here, select theme. It will open a gallery of headers and header images that you can use to spice up your classroom. Now, depending on the type of class you are giving, these are different categories: sport, art, math, English, other. So you can select any of these. If you are making a financial class, you can select this one. A maintenance class, you can select this one. And as you can see, you have a lot of options. Now, let's select one of them and see how it looks. Now click select class theme. As you can see, this is the new class theme and this is the new image. Now this is the name of our class. You can also upload a photo to display at the top of your class. You can use an image of your class or something that pertains to your class. Some teacher will create a custom header image with important information and fun graphic. Now, to upload your own photo, simply click upload photo and choose a photo from your computer. Okay, as you can see, the photo you uploaded is too small. Now let's select a bigger image. Okay, now this is a bigger image. As you can see, you can crop any part of this image and use it as a class image. This is the new class image. Now, in the next lesson, I will explain to you how you can easily and without using any software, you can create a custom header for your Google Classroom. Stay tuned for the next class. Thanks for watching. This is Ashraf from Coding Academy. Hello and welcome to this new lesson in which I will teach you how to create a customized header for your Google Classroom. Now, the first step is going to canva.com, which is an online design website. It's a free online design platform and you can sign up with your Google account, the one we just created. So simply continue or sign up with Google. Now, as you can see, you can choose your category. I'm a teacher, maybe later, and skip all of these. Now what we need to create is a header. As you can see, we already have Google Classroom header and this is the dimension 1920 by 480. Click on it and you will be redirected to a web page that has a lot of options that you can choose from. As you can see, we have a lot of free options. So depending on my class type, and my class is electronics, okay, as you can see, we don't have much about electronics, but there is mathematics, science, English, math. I think that this one looks nice. So this is our theme. We can change the image by simply clicking once, double click the image, and we can scroll it. And we can delete the image, as you can see. Ctrl Z to undo. We can use any photo. I can write here electronics. And as you can see, all of these images are free images that you can use, but when you see the pro icon, it means that this is a paid image. Don't use it. So keep scrolling until you find a free image that tells what you are doing. Now you can simply scroll it both ways, adjust it. Okay, now we can choose another image, maybe a more convenient image. Okay, this one. If you are teaching microcontrollers, you can use this image. and you can change this color to black. So now the whole text is in black. You can add any other image or element. As you can see, we have a lot of elements here. You can add a chart. As you can see here, you can change the values from here for this chart. So there is no limit to what you can do. And as you can see here, we have images for doctors regarding coronavirus, and a lot of options are available. You can choose this image, as you can see, to show that this is a student, and you can add more than one student by simply copying and pasting this, Ctrl+C and Ctrl+V. So this is a very nice header, and you can create any other header for free. Now once you are done, you can simply click download, and once again you can click download, and it will give you the image. As you can see, this is our image. Now let's go back to our classroom. Let's upload the photo, drag this image and drop it here. Now uploading. As you can see, the size is typical to our crop size because we have the same dimension. Now select class theme. As you can see here, read, learn, and know. This is our class image. That's it for this lesson. If you have any question, please ask in the Q&A board. Thanks for watching. This is Ashraf from Coding Academy. Hello and welcome to this new lesson in which we are going to start using our newly created classroom. After your class is set up and students join, you have a fully functioning Google Classroom. Congratulations! But you don't want to stop there. Here are some things that we can do with our Google Classroom. Now, the first thing that we can do is using the stream. Basically, the stream is where you send notifications or announcements to your students. And today, we will learn how you can easily create or add an announcement. This is a good way to communicate with your class and give them up-to-date information. Announcements are posted to the class stream, which is this tab, but there isn't a grade associated with them. Now, to create an announcement, you can simply go to your stream class and click on share something with your class. Now, as you can see, here we have a simple note. Post now or plan ahead. You can choose when to share this post or this announcement with your class. Post work to students right away. Pick a date your post will appear, or save a draft and finish it later. You can do this by clicking this simple arrow. Now click here, and as you can see, here you can write your announcement to share it with your class. You can write this is an announcement. Now, it's a great way to get important information to students. In an announcement, you can attach files, connect files from your Google Drive, include a YouTube video, or add a link. You can deliver the announcement to all students or just a specific student, the ones that you do choose. And since we only have one student, we can only select one. If you want to send to all of your students, you can simply select all. Now, once you write your announcement, you can add a Google Drive file, a link, a file from your computer, or a YouTube link. You can attach any of these 4 types of files to your announcement. You can also choose to post it now by simply clicking post, or you can click here to change this to schedule, and this will require choosing a future date to post your post, or you can select to save draft, and once you click save draft, it will stay there so that you can edit it later. As you can see, saved announcement, you can find it here. You can delete it by clicking here, or you can click once and it's up again. You can edit this announcement and post it now. Now, once you are done and once you feel that this announcement is good, you can choose a Google Drive file. Let's pick a file to upload it with the announcement. Okay, let's upload a file. Now we are uploading this image. Okay, this image, and this is an announcement. Simply click post, and all of your students will see the post in their streams immediately, and they will receive an email notification. Click post, and as you can see, this is the stream. If we went back to the stream, we will find the announcement with the image or the video or the link that we just posted. Now, I usually use announcement when I have an actual announcement. I want to tell my students something about something regarding teaching or regarding a specific material. If I want to add additional material that I wouldn't or I don't want to grade, I can simply share this in an announcement. I can create an announcement for the exam date after creating the exam, and I can schedule multiple announcements, one every 2 days, with a piece of information that is relevant to my class activities or my class topic. So it's a great way to share what you think. It's a great way to ask your students for their opinion about something. They can easily reply with a class comment here, and you receive this reply under the same announcement. That's it. This is how great announcements are, and this is basically the main function that you can do with a stream. Plus, the stream will show any new material that you add in the classwork, but this will be explained in a different lesson. That's it for this lesson. Thanks for watching. This is Ashraf from Coding Academy. Hello and welcome to this new lesson in which we are going to talk about the second tab, which is Classwork. Now, Classwork is basically where you can create assignments and questions. You can use topics to organize classwork into modules or units. You can order your work the way you want students to see it. Now, you basically assign work to your class here. Create an assignment, quiz, assignment, question, or attach a material, or you can reuse an old post. This is where students get to work. You can create a graded or ungraded question for students to answer. You can create a quiz or assignments for students to do. You can create them under the Classwork tab. You can also attach material you want the students to see or reuse an old post. These are the main functions inside the Classwork tab. Now, if you want to create an assignment, you can simply click Assignment. As you can see, you can add or create material within your assignment like docs, slides, sheets, drawings, and forms. Now, a descriptive title for your assignment can be added here. It's a good practice to number your assignment to eliminate confusion. So you can say Assignment 1, and people will know that this is the first assignment. A descriptive or a description or instructions, which are optional here. This is a helpful way for students who were absent and for referring back to a previous assignment later. So you can tell them here that they can solve assignment 1 by going back to chapter 1, page 10 to 20. So they can go and check out pages from 10 to 20. Then they can come back to check the assignment to see if they can solve it or not. Now, here we have points. Choose how many points the assignment or question is worth, or use the drop-down menu to make it ungraded. Ungraded means that this assignment won't have a grade, and solving it is the same as not solving it. And this is not a good practice in classrooms. Everything must be graded. So let's say that we want to give it 10 points. Now, a due date is basically the time when the assignment is due. You can use it or you can skip it. I usually use it, and I usually give them 1 week after the assignment. So today is 15. We can accept the assignment up to September 21. Now, what will happen after this date? The form will still accept new answers, but they will be marked with submitted later. Or late submission. This means that these people did answer the assignment, but after the due date, so you have to take that into consideration when you rank their points. So if they solved it correctly, but after the specified date, you can add -2 or subtract 2 marks from the 10 marks because of the delay. And it's a good way to keep your student disciplined. Now, the topic is basically a topic, and we will explain it in a separated lesson because it's a very important aspect, but it's basically a way to organize your assignments. Now, the file attachment here is the same as the announcement. You can attach a Google Drive, a link, a file, or a YouTube. Now, if the assignment is written, you can create a Google Doc and write your assignment inside it, so people will see it and solve it. You can create slides, PowerPoint slides, Excel sheets, drawing, or you can turn the assignment into a Google form that people can fill and get graded according to their answers. And I usually use this one, the forms, because grading people using the forms is a way much easier than receiving homework from them and grade it by hand. And I will explain this in a separated lesson because it's very important. Now, the last thing that we need to mention is you can set this assignment for specific students, let's say 5 of them. So the assignment 1 will be for the first 5, the assignment 2 will be for the second 5 students to make sure that they won't cheat. Or you can send it to all of your students. Now, here we have a rubric sign. You can create a rubric, reuse a rubric, or import from sheets. But what are rubrics? Rubric within Google Classroom is the type of grading from which consists of a set of criteria. Each have several descriptive levels with a numerical grade assigned to it. Now, this is advanced topic when it comes to Google Classroom and will be explained in a separated section. But for now, what you need to know is what we have already explained. And at this point, this sign will assign the assignment now, or schedule it, or you can save it as a draft, or you can discard the draft and it will delete everything. If we save this as a draft, as you can see now we have the assignment in gray. Once you click again on it, you can edit the assignment, or you can simply click here and delete it. Let's edit the assignment. And as you can see, now the rubric, to let your students know how their assignments will be evaluated, you can create a rubric and use it for grading and providing feedback. Again, this will be explained in a future lesson. Now, if you want to schedule the assignment, you have to choose a date. If you want to assign it now, you can simply click assign, and it will be sent. As you can see, only one student is assigned, which is the only account that joined the classroom, and 0 people submitted the assignment, which means that no one yet submitted the assignment. Now, if you went to the Google Calendar up here, you can see that we have an assignment, and I already mentioned that this assignment is due on September 21. So when you scroll to September 21, as you can see, there is assignment. Now, all of our students will have Google Calendar, and they will all see the assignment due time on their Google Calendar. And this is a very nice feature. That's it. This is how you can create an assignment within Google Classroom. In the next lesson, we will explain topics. Thanks for watching this lesson. This is Ashraf from Coding Academy. Hello and welcome to this new lesson in which we are going to discuss classroom topics. Now, you can organize your class with topics. If you have different chapters, units, or subjects within your class, you can categorize your assignments and questions by topic to keep everything organized. Under Classwork, click the Create button, choose Topic, and here you can name the topic. Now, whenever you create a new assignment or announcement, you will be able to add that topic to it. So let's say that this is Unit 1, Introduction to Google Classroom. Okay. Now this is our topic. Now to arrange item inside the classwork, you can simply drag and drop. So now we have assignment 1 under unit 1. Now you can also create another unit. Let's say unit 2. And you can name it anything. And you can drag it down here. So unit 1, assignment 1, unit 2, and you can add anything inside it. Now you can create anything. Let's create assignment. And here you can select either unit 1 or unit 2. This is how you can easily categorize items inside your class. Now, instead of having all of the items out in the open, you can easily open each unit and see what's inside it. Now, as you can see, unit 2, no lessons posted yet. Assignments and tasks you create for this topic will show up here. That's it for the topics. Thanks for watching. This is Ashraf from Coding Academy. Hello and welcome to this new lesson in which we are going to discuss the Create button inside the Classwork tab. Now, we already created an assignment and we created a topic. But what about quiz assignment, question, material, and reused post? Now, let's get started with the material. The material is basically where you can add PDF material or documents that students can see. You can also add video files for you explaining a certain topic. So let's say that I want to add the course material as PDF. Now this is usually done for students to download the book in PDF form, and I usually create a separated topic. So you can go here, create a topic, and let's call it resources or course resources. So students can go to the course resources and download the course material as PDF so that they can check it out. Usually the course material as PDF is basically the book in PDF form, since this is an online class. Now you can simply click add, and you can click file and go to the upload section, click browse. Now let's select any book. Okay, let's say that we want this book. It's a PDF book. PDF book that people can download and see for themselves. Now I will show you what will be sent to the student email once we upload this material. Okay, now as you can see, this is the title of our new material. It's like a separated lecture, and it has the coloring.pdf course material. We can add a description. Please download the course book as PDF and check it out. Now, course resources to our students. This is our PDF file, and this is the title. Now click post. Okay, now once you post the PDF material, as you can see, we have the new course topic, which is course resources. And here we have the course material as PDF. Now, if we went to the stream, we can see that here we have the first announcement that we created. Here we have the assignment. And when a student click on that assignment, he will get redirected to the assignment page. Now, you can also click on the course material as PDF announcement, and you can simply download it by clicking here. As you can see, when you click here, you can download the new material. Now, there's a new feature to move posts to the top. We can click this menu to move any post to the top of the stream, so new students can check this out. Simply click here, okay, simply click here and select move to top. Now this assignment one will be moved to the top of our stream so that all students will be able to see it. Now once we upload the material, this material, course material as PDF, all of our students will receive this email. As you can see, hi, the student name. It's telling the student that your teacher, and his name is Coding Academy, posted a new material in this classroom, and the material is called course material as PDF. And this is the note. Please download the course book as PDF and check it out. Now, once the student click open, he will get redirected to this page to download the coloring PDF. This is how you can easily upload new material. I also upload videos from YouTube. I usually record my class videos for specific topics, upload them to YouTube, and create a material, attach the YouTube link here. You can simply attach the URL using the URL feature here, or you can look up your video. And once you choose your video or insert the URL, you can simply click add, and here you can add video lecture 1. Let's say that the topic is coding introduction to Google. Now, this is the first video lecture 1, and you can add it to unit 1. Once you click post, it will post the new material and students can check it out. As you can see, video lecture 1. Now again, you can rearrange these topics or chapters, unit 1, unit 2, and the resources at the end. Now this is how to add material. In the next lesson, we will talk about the quiz assignment. Thanks for watching this lesson. This is Ashraf from Coding Academy. Hello and welcome to this new lesson in which we are going to explain how you can easily create a question inside Google Classroom. Now go to create, select question. Now this is the question name and it's basically the question itself. So you can ask, what is the right tool to upload Now, the type of question is either short answer or multiple choice. So in case it's short answer, you can add instructions for your student here, and you can select the topic to be either unit 1 or 2, and you can add points to your question. Let's say 5 points or 2 points since it's only a single question. You can add the due date to be tomorrow, and here you can allow students to edit their answers, and you can allow students to reply to each other depending on what you prefer. You can check or uncheck these. I usually uncheck both of them, and that's it. Once you are done, you can simply click the ask button, or you can schedule it, save it as draft, or discard the draft. I will select the ask button, and once you do that, your student here will see that you have created a new question. Let's refresh the page. As you can see, here we have a new material, new assignment, and once you go to the classwork, you can see that we have a video lecture, a question that we have until September 16th to answer. We can click on it, click view question. This is the student part, and in here we can type our answer. So the student will answer using Classwork tab and Google Drive. So once he clicks turn in and he click again turn in, this means that the student submitted his answer. He can also add private comments. Please add more marks to me. Okay. Now, once the student add a private comment, it will appear in the teacher side. So let's go back to the teacher side here, and let's refresh the page. Okay. Now, as you can see, this is the question, and here no one is assigned. Since we only have one student, we assigned it to one student, and he turned the answer in. So we can click on the turned in, and here you can see the answer using Classwork tab and Google Drive. And here you can grade the student, and here is the comment that the student added: please add more marks to me. And you can add the grade. Let's add 2. Once you grade the answer, you can simply, it will be saved here, but the student won't see it because it's still a draft. You can click return, and you can add any comment. If you have any comment on the answer, if it is wrong, you can add your comment here and click return. Now, once you return the mark, as you can see, this is the returned mark. Now it is not in draft mode, and the student can see his mark. Okay, let's go back to the notifications. Graded, and this is the grade, 2 from 2, and this is the graded answer. So I showed you the teacher and the student side of this question part of the class work. So this is how you can write a simple question to your students and wait for their answers. Now, there is another type of questions that you can use. If we went back to our classwork, create a question. Here you can type question. And in here you can select multiple choice. And once you select multiple choice, you can choose option 1, option 2, option 3, and option 4. Now as you can see here, we have the options. We have 4 options, and you can grade it with 2 marks. You can add a due date, 17. You can also attach it to unit 1, as you can see here. And student will choose one of these answers. And basically, once you click ask, This is the teacher side. Once you click ask, the question will be added to unit 1. Okay, we can move it to unit 2 so that we have more than one question. Okay, this is the question. Now, if we went to the student side, we can easily see that here we have the second question on the student side. Once the student click here, he can choose any of these options. Option 2, turn in, and that's it. The student just answered this question, and this is again the student side. Now, if we went back to the instructor side and click the question, we will see that the student has turned in the answer, and this is his answer. We can grade his answer. As you can see, so if we know that option 2 is the correct option, we can select 2 from 2. And let's say that it's the wrong option. We will select 0. And we will return the answer to our student. Your answer is wrong. That's it. Now, the student will see this private comment that his answer is wrong and he's graded 0 from 2. This is how easily you can interact with Classwork, the question part. In the next lesson, we'll explain the quiz assignment part. That's it for this lesson. If you have any question, please ask in the Q&A board. Hello and welcome to this new lesson in which we are going to cover another part of the Classwork section. Now, in the Classwork section, if you went there, you can see that we have units, and in each unit we have questions, class resources. Now, if you want to create a question, we already explained this in the previous lesson. Now, let's talk about. In this lesson, we are going to cover the quiz assignment. So go to create and click on the quiz assignment. Now, as you can see, this is the quiz assignment, and here you can add points. Let's say that we want to add 10 points for this assignment. Let's add a due date and let's make it in October. You can choose the topic to be unit 2, and you can choose to send it to anyone inside your classroom or all of the students inside your classroom. Now, here you need to write a title for your quiz. So let's name it quiz. And here you can add instructions. Let's say you need to answer all questions. Now, this is a Google form that has a blank quiz. So what you need to do at this point is click on it, and you will see that you have a blank quiz and you need to start adding questions. Now, the first thing that you need to do in this Google form is choose the question type. Here we have the question, and here we have the question type. As you can see, we have short answer, paragraph, multiple choice, checkboxes, drop down menu. You can even write a question here and tell him to solve it in a piece of paper and upload it. So you can use file upload. You can use linear scale, multiple choice grid, and checkbox grid. These are basically used for multiple choice questions. You can add a date and time for your exam. Now, let's talk about the points. As you can see here, we have total points 0. Let's choose this to be short answer. So 0 point. This toggle button is basically used to force the student. So if he didn't solve this question, he cannot submit the form. So if you remove this, he can submit the form even without solving this. So basically, you are writing a quiz. You must enable this on all of your questions. Here you need to write your question name. Let's write classroom quiz and add a number. So it will be classroom quiz number 1, and you can add the same name here to your quiz, and this will help you recognize the quiz. Now, the question, do you like? Now let's make it a multiple choice question. So it's either yes or no. Now this is the answer key, and the answer key is basically where you pull the right answer and you add points. So the number of points for this question, let's make it, since this is only a 10 points quiz, let's make it 5 questions, each one with 2 points. Now, as you can see, here you can select the right answer. You have to select one of these two. So if you selected this, I like Google Classroom, so I selected yes. Now click done. Now when the student see this question, if he clicked yes, he will get 2 points. If he clicked no, he won't get any points. He will get 0 points. Now you can see what you have done here by simply clicking the preview button. And as you can see, this is our quiz. Now if I clicked yes and submit, I can click view score to see my score, and as you can see, I got 2 out of 2 points because I answered yes. Now in your Google form, you can see that the responses tab now have 1 response. So if you clicked on it, you can see that here is a summary of the responses. Only 1 person did respond and his answer was yes, and it was a correct answer. Now you can see individual questions here. You can see individual answers here, but as you can see, there is no way to track your student or to know the student name who did solve this quiz. So what I usually do is I go to the settings, and in the settings, I check this, collect email addresses and response receipt. This is basically a way to tell the student that he did solve the quiz. So he will receive an email telling him that thank you for solving this quiz, we got your response. Now you can also, since this is a quiz, you can limit to 1 response per email. So each time a student wants to solve this quiz, he has to sign in using his email, and he has only 1 chance to solve it. Now sometimes teachers like to give their students a chance to edit their answers after submission. So you can check this to allow your students to edit their answers. You can also allow students to see a summary chart and text responses. So if you clicked here, once the student clicks submit, he will see a chart of other students' answers and how many correct answers are there and their answers to each of the questions. So if you are willing to do that, you just need to take this button. I usually uncheck these two because I only want to take the student email to tell him that he did answer the quiz and to confirm that we did receive his answer, and to limit to 1 response. Now you can also go to the quizzes tab. As you can see, this is checked by default because we choose a quiz assignment, so it is a quiz. Now you can choose from here the quiz options to release grade. So you can tell the students immediately after the quiz his mark, immediately after each submission, or you can tell him later after manual review if the quiz has questions that needs you to check. Like let's say a question where you ask the student to draw a circuit and he has to upload the image. You have to check the image and you have to mark it to give it some points, 2, 5, 10 points. Once you add these points, you can click submit and return the mark to the student so that he can see it. But if your question is only multiple choice questions, if your quiz has only multiple choice questions, you can tell the student his mark immediately because you already know the right answers and you have selected them here and you added the points, so student can know his answer. I will show you an example of this in a minute. So I will leave it to immediately after each submission. Now click save. Again, there is still some options here. Now the student can see the missed question, the questions that he didn't respond to, the correct answer, and how many points per question he got. Some teachers doesn't like to show this information to their students, so you can uncheck them, but I usually leave them. Click save. Now let's duplicate this question. Okay, now we have 10 points. We need one more duplicate. Now we have 5 questions and we have 10 points, which is the number of points for our quiz. Let's click here to preview the quiz. As you can see, he has to write his email address. So let me write an email here. Now let's answer 3 of these questions and correct answers and 2 wrong answers. Now a copy of your response will be emailed to the address you provided. So he will receive a copy of his answers to his email. Now click submit. As you can see, it's asking for a security check. Now, as you can see, your response has been recorded. Now, if the student clicked view score, he will see the right answers, the wrong answers, and how many points per answer he did receive, as you can see here. And his total points is basically 6 from 10. Now, if we went here, we can see that in the summary, we have 2 responses, as you can see, and only one is registered successfully with an email address. His score is 6 from 10. Now, another tip that I usually do on my quizzes is the following. I usually add a question here to ask the student for his name. And I make it a short answer. I basically remove the points, 0 point on this question. And this is a required question. So the student must add his name, and he won't get any points for his name because this is not basically a quiz question. So our quiz is still 10 points, and this is a 0 point question. So we just need to take his name because we need this to write down the grades for our students. Now, if we open the quiz, you have already answered this. Let's remove the answer. Now, if you want to remove someone's answer so that he can answer your quiz again, you can go to the individual section and click delete response. I will delete the responses that we did receive. Now we have 0 responses. Students can answer the quiz again. So I click here. As you can see here, you need to write your email address, your name, then you can start answering the questions. And as you can see, the name doesn't have any points beside it because it's not a quiz question. Now this is a good practice. Now let's write anything here. Now my name is Ashraf. Let's take a full mark. Click submit. Now, as you can see here, we took full mark, 10 from 10, and we have the email address and the name. Now, if we go back to our quiz, as you can see, we have the new answer. The name is Ashraf, and these are his answers. Now, if we went to the summary, the questions, we can see each of these questions. Now, if we went to the individual, we can see per email. When you click the email, we'll see the responses. We can either print, and as you can see, these are the student responses, the email address, the name, the answers to each question, and how many points he got. Now we can print this, and we can also release score. And basically, when we release score, the student will receive an email, and this email will include his score. So send email and release. Now, depending on how many students you have, you can release all of their scores. Now, that's it. This is how easily it is to make a quiz assignment. Now, let's say that you created an assignment and you want to rate some of these questions later. What you can do at this point is, let's say that this is a file upload question. Okay, draw a simple circle and upload an image. Now he will upload the image for the simple circuit, and you have to give it 2 points. Okay, now this is a required question, and if we went, let's remove our response from here. Now if we went here and try to preview this, now we have to do something before solving this. We have to go to the settings, and as you can see here we have a quizzes options. Now we don't want to release the grade since there is one question inside the quiz that cannot be graded immediately, which is the image upload question. So we'll add later after manual review and click save. Now the student won't see his score. Now if we click here, we can, okay, I'll write the name. Now, yes, let's upload any file here. Now you can click submit. When you click submit, you won't see your score this time. As you can see, you only have this message: your response has been recorded. There is no view score button because the score isn't ready yet. The teacher has to go here and he has to look in these. As you can see, this is a question that has to be marked. So let's say that he did upload the right image. You can add 2 out of 2 and you can click save. Now as you can see, your student solved all of these questions and this question is marked. Now you can release his score. Now I will show you the email that the student will receive. As you can see, the student will receive an email: score released, classroom quiz 1, and his mark is 10 from 10. He can view his answers and other things. And as you can see, this is the classroom quiz that the student solved earlier, and these are his answers. So everything will be documented. The student will receive email whenever he do anything. Now let's go back. Once we are done with creating our quiz, let's remove the individual, and it's a good practice to test out this quiz on your own. So try to open it up, solve it, and make sure that everything is working just fine and just like expected. Now we are ready. We can assign the quiz now, and as you can see, this is our quiz and only one student is assigned, and this is the quiz that he has to solve. That's it. This is how easy it is to create a quiz assignment. If you have any question, please ask in the Q&A board. Thanks for watching. This is Ashraf from Coding Academy. Hello and welcome to this new lesson in which we are going to explain the grading system in Google Classroom. Now, as you can see in the teacher view of the Google Classroom here, we have a tab called Grades. And we already explained the People tab, where you can invite teachers using this button, or you can invite students using this button, beside the method which is inviting via code. Now, regarding the grades, you will see a list of your student's name here. As you can see, this is the only student that we have in this class, and this is his name. Now, what we have done here is basically we created the quizzes, assignments, and questions. And as you can see, each of these quizzes and assignments has a point system. So the quiz is basically out of 10. So it has 10 points. This has 2 points, and this has 2 points. And this assignment number 1 has 10 points. So what we can do here at this point is grade our students. Let's say that we haven't graded them using the quiz here, and we haven't graded them in this assignment here. We can grade them here. So we know that the first quiz, Ashraf took 5 points out of 10. And the second question, Ashraf took 0. And what is the right tool to upload material? Ashraf took 2 out of 2. And here he took 10 out of 10. So now we have the points for each of the assignments and quizzes. We can simply click return to return this mark to the student, and he will receive an email that his mark in this quiz is 5 from 10. We can also send this mark by simply clicking here and clicking return to return this mark to our student, and he will see that he got 10 out of 10 for the assignment number 1. Now, if we want to quickly review his submission, we can click the 3 dots and click view submission, and we can see his submission here. Now, if he haven't submit anything, we will see nothing here. Same goes here. If we click to view submission, as you can see, there is no submission here, and he hasn't uploaded any files. So the best way, and the way that I do use, is go to each of these quizzes. So let's say that we have this assignment number 1, and wait for your students to answer the assignment. And this student didn't answer the assignment, so there is no submission here. Now let's submit the assignments from the student side to show you what will happen. Okay, this is it. Now this is the assignment, view assignment, and as you can see here we have the assignment. Now solve assignment 1 by going to chapter 1, page 10 to 20. And here you can add or create. You can upload a file, attach a link, upload a Google Doc that has your answer. And as you can see, this is how you can solve the assignment. You can mark as done. Now you have submitted your assignment, but you haven't uploaded any files. You can unsubmit it again and attach a file. Picture. Okay, we are attaching a picture. Usually student has to solve the homework and upload it, or you can make them solve it in a Google Doc and upload it. Now by clicking here, turn in, when you are ready to submit all of your files for the assignment, turn in. And this is basically the right way to submit your homework as a student. Now once the homework is submitted, we can go to the second assignment, which is the quiz, and we can solve the quiz. Okay, click yes, 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 and let's attach a file. Okay, now click submit. As you can see, this is the submission. You can open the assignment, and this is it. This is your submission. Now, if you went back to the student's assignment, this is the teacher side. You can see that one student turned in the assignment, and this is his answer. So I will give him 10 out of 10, and you can return the mark to the student, which is basically announcing this mark to your student. You also have a quiz, which is quiz number 1. Click turn in, and basically this is the student solution for the quiz. Click on it, and as you can see, this is the quiz that the student did solve. And to see his answer, you need to click this button, the button down here, and here you can see the responses. And again, you need to go to the individual, and since you already have a question that wasn't marked, you have to mark it 2 out of 2. click save, so that the total mark for our student from this summary is 10. So we will go back here and we will give him 10. Now we saved the mark as a draft. We need to return it to the student. Now go back to the Google Classroom, click grades, and you will see that all of the assignments and the quizzes now have grades, as you can see, because we already graded all of them individually in each of the assignments and the quizzes. Now, once you have all of this, you will know exactly your student mark for this quiz, for this question, and for this assignment. Now, if you want to see the overall grade or edit the grade settings, you need to go to the gear icon here, scroll down to the grading. Now, as you can see, overall grade calculations, from here, you can select total points, or you can select weighted by category. Now, you can also choose to show overall grade to students, so that each student will know his overall grade in this subject. And you can add a grade category. If you did select weighted by category, you can add a grade category from here. Now the grade category here can be math, and you can give it 20% for unit 1. As you can see here, you can then add another grade category. You can add another 20% for unit 2. And you can add 40% for the practical part of your subject, and you can add a final exam mark of 20%. This is the grading category, and the sum of all these percentage must be 100%. Now I usually choose total points from here, and I click save. Now when you choose total points, as you can see, using these total points, it will give you an overall grade for your student. And as you can see, this student will take 91.67% since he solved all of these questions, but he did make one mistake. Now if we added 2 out of 2 here, the student overall grade will turn to 100%. As you can see here, because he did solve all of these quizzes and assignments. And this is the easiest way to grade your student, using the overall grade. It will check the quizzes, assignments, and questions points, and depending on how many points he got, the Google Classroom will make auto calculation to give you a mark out of 100%. That's it for the grading system. If you have any question about grading your students, I'm here to help you. One last thing that we need to mention is that you can return all submission at one time for all of your students. So now if you have 20 students and you have points that need to be returned to students, you have to click here and return each mark to each of your students. Now if you clicked here, you can return all. So all the marks for all of your students will be returned at once. And this is a very helpful tip, because otherwise you will have to click here and keep clicking return like 20 times. By clicking here one time, you can return all of these marks. That's it for this lesson. If you have any question, please ask in the Q&A board. Thanks for watching. This is Ashraf from Coding Academy. Hello and welcome to this new lesson in which we are going to look at the brand new feature of the Google Classroom Rubrics feature. And today what we are going to do is basically create a rubric and see how you can use it to grade your students. Now, if you go to the assignment, you will see a new sign. So let's create a new assignment. You will see a new sign down here, and this new sign that has been added to the user interface to the right of the topic. First thing you need to do is to create a title. Now let's add a title, essay, Now choose a topic, choose a due date. As you can see, this is now the rubric feature. Click on it and click create rubric. Now, since I don't have any rubrics yet, I have to create a new one. I'm going to create a rubric from scratch, and I'm going to use this rubric for grading student essay. So my first criteria in this rubric will be word choice. Now write word choice, and this is the first criteria, and leave the description. We will give the student 3 points for accurate use of vocabulary, and we will give him 2 points for average use of vocabulary. Okay, and we will give him 1 point for poor use of vocabulary. Now this is our first criteria, and as you can see, it has 3 points, and up here we have 3. Now we can add another criteria by clicking here, or we can duplicate this criteria. The choice is yours. I will duplicate it. Now the second criteria will be grammar. So, okay, grammar. Now, accurate use of grammar, average use of grammar, poor use of grammar will be 1 point. Now we have 6 points. Now let's duplicate it one more time. And the third criteria will be opinion. And let's give it one more grade, 4, and let's leave this. Accurate use. Okay, this is just an example. Now we have 10 points. Now this is the scoring, and we added 3 criteria. You can add more criteria, or you can duplicate these. Click save. Now once you click save, this will be shown to your student. This is called rubric 3 criteria 10 points, and this is basically the criteria that you will use to assist your student essay. Now click assign, and it's okay, 100 point. I will leave it to 100 point. Now you can choose, I added grade categories in a previous lesson. You can choose to add this assignment under any of these grade categories. I will leave it. Now click assign. Let's take a quick look at the student side of this. Now this is the student side. Let's go back to our classroom and let's see the essay. As you can see, this is our essay. We can see that we have rubric 3 criteria 10 points. If we click here, the student can see how he will be assisted and how his answer will be assisted. Now there are 3 points for word choice, 3 points for grammar choice, and 4 points for opinion. Now the total is 10 points. The student must click on the view assignment, and as you can see, this is the student window. He has to click add or create and upload his assignment. Let's say that he will upload a Google document. And this is where the student must write his essay. This is my essay. Please evaluate it. Now, once he's done, he must click here, turn in. And once he click here, as you can see, he must confirm that he wants to turn in his essay. Now, as you can see, we don't have yet any points here because the teacher didn't yet see the homework or the assignment or the essay. So let's go back to the teacher side. Now go to the classwork and refresh this page. Now, as you can see, this is the essay, and one of the students did solve it. So the teacher, this is the student, and this is the essay. If the teacher clicked here, he will see the essay. And as you can see, this is my essay. This is the student solution. He has to choose from these rubric choices, and let's say that the word choice is perfect, so I will give him 3 points, and the grammar choice is average, and the opinion is poor. So the total will be 6 out of 10, and it's automatically transferred to the 100 points, so it's 60 points out of 100 points. And now we can return this mark to the student. This is how you can use the rubric to assess your or to evaluate your student work. Now, as you can see, this is the essay, and now the student has 60 out of 100 points. This is the student side, and the student can see that he took 3 points for the word choice, 2 points for the grammar choice, and only 1 point for the opinion choice. And this is a very good way, so the student know exactly where did he lose marks, and he won't have to go back and check with you to know exactly what he did wrong. He will know from these rubrics what he did wrong exactly, and this is a very good way, and it will save a lot of time for the student and for the teacher. This is basically how easily it is to use the rubric feature. If you have any question, please ask in the Q&A board. Thanks for watching. This is Ashraf from Coding Academy. Hello and welcome to this new lesson in which I'm going to tell you how you can easily duplicate your class. Now let's say that you are here in the classes section of your Google Classroom at classroom.google.com. You can simply click the 3 dots and copy your class. Now, as you can see, copy of Google Classroom class, so you can change its name. I will call it copy Google Classroom class 2, section 2, room 2, and you can simply click copy. Now, once you click copy, you will find that now you have 2 classes. This is the first one, and it has number 1 here, and the second one is here, and it has number 2. As you can see, it's still creating class. So now it's processing. It will take a few seconds and it will be ready for you to use. Now, there is another tip, which is the grade book. Now, if you clicked here, you will open the grade book for your Google Classroom directly from that point. Now, if we went back to the classes, this is our second copy of the first classroom. Now, if you want to delete it, you can simply click Archive and click this button. Now it's gone. Now, this is how you can copy a class. Thanks for watching. This is Ashraf from Coding Academy. Hello and welcome to this new lesson in which we are going to discuss some tips and tricks to maximize your use of Google Classroom. Now, the first tip is whenever you see a folder icon, when you click on it, it will open the class Google Classroom folder in your Google Drive. This is where your student work lives when it's turned in. As you can see, this is our classroom and this is our class name, and these are our assignments folders and the student work. Now, assignments with due dates automatically go on your class's Google Calendar. So if you went to the calendar here, you can see the due date for each of these assignments, as you can see, and the students can see that as well. So if he has Google Calendar, he will see that he has an assignment on Wednesday and another question on 17, which is Thursday, and another question on Friday. And this is a good way to track your work. Now, the third tip is that you can easily make an individual copy of a file for every student in an assignment. Let's say that you have a graphic organizer you want all students to complete. Google Classroom is like your digital photocopier. When you attach the file to your assignment, you can use the drop-down menu on that file and choose Make a Copy for each student. Now, to test this out, let's go to the Classwork and create a new assignment. Let's add a photo. Now, as you can see, this is the sharing setting. You can choose how to share this file with your class. Students all view the same or single file. Students all view and can edit the same single file. Each individual student gets their own copy, which is the option that we want. If you make copies, the files are automatically stored in students' class folders in Google Drive. So you have to check this option, make a copy for each student. So each student will see an individual file that he can edit and he can add whatever he wants on it. So if it is a photo, he has to edit it and draw a circuit or correct some issues with an electronic circuit. Each of your students will have their own image to edit so that you can easily mark them and give them points, and each one will have his own image on his Google Drive folder, so you don't have to worry about the size of your Google Drive or if it will take any capacity from your own Google Drive. Now to the next step. The Google Classroom mobile app is your secret tool for giving students quick, easy, instant feedback. You can simply download the Google Classroom app from the App Store if you have an iPhone, or from the Google Play Store if you have Android device, and it's like the web experience. You can easily comment, share new material, make a quiz using the mobile app, using the same methods that we just used in the web app. You can also adjust the settings for your class using the gear icon from your class's home screen, which is this icon. You can change your class name, display the class code, decide what actions student can take in the stream, and decide whether to display deleted items. And as you can see here, you can show or change these properties to allow only teachers to post on the stream. Now you can allow students to see deleted items or not using this toggle button. These are the main tips and tricks for using Google Classroom. One last thing that we need to mention is the difference between the type of comments you can leave in Google Classroom. Now there is something called a class comment. Usually the class comment is found outside an assignment, announcement, or question on your stream. Now this is our stream, and it's basically a good way to comment anyone in class, and you can easily see it and everyone can see it. Now let's say that we have this announcement and people add a class comment here. Everyone will be able to see it and respond to it. Now there is also something called a private comment, and this private comment only one student can see it. So when you click on the assignment and view assignment, you can simply click on this student and add a private comment here. Only this student will see this comment. So your work needs. Now this student will see this comment and he will read it and he can respond to this private comment. Now another thing is called comment on a file. Now if you went back to your Google Classroom, and here we have an essay. If you clicked on this essay, it will open up like this, and basically a comment on file or in file is found in a document, slide, sheet, drawing, or any other thing. It's perfect for leaving specific pointed feedback about specific parts of an assignment. So let's say that we open up this document, which is the student work. We can click here in the comment bank, and we can simply select this first line and add a comment. This is good. And click comment, and as you can see, now it has a yellow, and the student will see the comment here. This is good. And this is basically how easy it is to add a comment in a file to help student improve his work. That's it for this lesson. If you have any questions, please ask in the Q&A board. If you have any tips or tricks that you know, please share them with us in the discussion board. Thanks for watching this lesson. This is Ashraf from Coding Academy. Hello and welcome to this new lesson in which I'm going to talk about some features that G Suite for Education offers and normal Google accounts don't usually offer in your Google Classroom. Now, the first thing is the Meet link. As you can see in this classroom, this classroom is created on a G Suite for Education account. You can easily generate Meet link. And the Meet video meetings, you can connect with students for distance learning. You can manage Meet in your class settings. And you can simply click Generate Meet link here. And as you can see, you can copy this and make it visible to your students. So whenever you have to meet with your students, you can simply share this link and copy it and paste it here in the announcement window, and they can join your meeting. And this is basically for online meeting. Now you can post it. And the normal class with a Gmail account at gmail.com usually don't have this feature. As you can see, it doesn't have this feature. It doesn't have the generate link that we have here. Now, this is the first thing. The second thing is the Originality Reports. You and your students can use Originality Reports to check work for authenticity. When you run a report, it compares a student's Google Docs file against web pages and books on the internet. The report links to detect sources and flags inside the text. Originality Reports are only available for G Suite for Education accounts set to English, Indonesian, Italian, and like 4 or 5 other languages. But before you begin, you need to make sure that you have a G Suite for Education account. And using this G Suite for Education account, you can turn Originality Reports on for 5 assignments per class. Now, you can view Originality Reports for up to 45 days. After that, you can run another report in the grading tool. Now, when you turn on Originality Reports for an assignment, students can run 3 reports on their work before they turn it in. You can't see the reports students run. After students run their last report, they can continue to work on the assignment before timing or turning it on. Okay, now to turn on Originality Reports, you create an assignment. You going to the Classwork, click Create Assignment, and now here you can name it Assignment, and let's add create a Google Doc. Okay, without it. Now you simply need to click this, check plagiarism or originality. Once you click on it, as you can see, you have only 5 assignments remaining. You can enable Originality Reports on 5 assignments per class. Again, this is only a feature on accounts that are under G Suite for Education. Now click Assign. As you can see, this is our assignment. And when the students see the assignment, let's first invite a student to this class. Okay, I have sent an invitation. Now let's respond to this invitation. Okay, the wrong location for the invitation. Let's remove this. We want to send a student invite. Okay, now we have sent a student invite. This is the class invitation, as you can see, and we can simply click join. Click join. Now we are inside the class. It's called test, and we have a Google Meet link. Now we can go to the classwork, go to the assignment, view assignment, and in here we can check the student can do up to 3 originality reports before turning in his work. So let's add or create a document. Now this is our document. Now let's write essay. Let's get an essay from Google to save time. Let's copy this and let's paste it here. Now this is our assignment, and we already know that the student, this is the student side. We already know that the student has up to 3 attempts. Now close this page and go back to the assignment page. As you can see, now what you have written is stored inside the Google Docs here. And here we have Originality Reports, and this is again the student side. Text from submissions will be compared to existing text on the web. So click run, and now it's telling you that you have only 3 Originality Reports runs available. So you have to use them wisely. You can click run, and as you can see, running Originality Report, and it will reach 100%. Then it will open up your document to show you exactly what is original and what's not. Now view Originality Report, click on it. As you can see, all of this text in yellow, this is your passage, and this is the top web match. Since we already copied this from the web, it found that this is copied and we have to edit it. So you have to click here and edit your work, then save it and go back to run another originality test. This is again from the student side. Now let's close this and let's go back to the teacher side. Okay, now here we have the classwork and we have the assignment. Let's submit this assignment from the student side. Now let's go back to the assignment from the teacher side to see the submission. Now we have this assignment and one student turned the assignment in. Okay, we have it here, this one, as you can see. Now click on it, and as you can see, here we have the assignment that the student did submit, and here we can add the grade, and here we can add our private comments. Now as you can see, we have one flagged passage, and when we click on it, we can see that there is this passage and it's copied from a website online. So this work is not original. And this is according to the originality report that the student did create. That's it. Now, this is how the teacher will see the flagged passages, and he will mark the homework according to this. So if there is no flagged passages, it means that this work is original and the teacher can give the student full mark. This is a way to reduce the copying and pasting in the homework online. And this is a very huge issue. Most people copy from Google and paste in the homework and they submit it, and they assume that their teachers won't know it, and in most of cases teachers know nothing about that. So Google Classroom provide a way to let the student know if his work is copied and correct himself before submitting his homework to avoid any let's say to avoid losing marks. Okay, that's it for the Originality Report. Thanks for watching this lesson. If you have any question, please ask in the Q&A board. Hello and welcome to this new lesson in which I'm going to show you how you can make a time-limited quiz that students can take for a specific time period. Now, let's go to our classwork and open up the quiz that we already created previously. Now, this is the Google Forms quiz. Now, it has 5 questions and we are asking for the student email and name. Click the edit icon. Now, what you need to do is very simple. You need to go up here and click add-ons. Add-ons is basically plugins that you can add to your Google form, and from here we can choose any add-on that we want. Now, as you can see, there is an add-on called Form Limiter. If you clicked once on this add-on, you can see the options. You can limit your Google form or quiz to the maximum number of responses. You can set a custom message that the student can see. You can close the form at a specific date and time. You can create a deadline, and you can also get sheet linked form. So this is one of the methods that can be used. So if you looked for time limit, you can get a lot of add-ons that can be used. Now this is the form limit add-on, and I usually use Form Limiter. It has very good support and it has a lot of features. So this is the one that we are going to use, and to use it you can simply click install. Choose your Google account, click allow, and now the plugin is getting installed. Okay, now close this window. As you can see, we are inside this form, and this is where we can get the plugins that we do install. Click Form Limiter, and you can set limit in this window, and this is the form limiter. The limit type that you want, you can choose date and time. You can choose to limit according to the number of form responses. So let's say that we only want to receive 10 form responses. The student will see if he did enter after 10 submissions, the student will see this message: this form is no longer accepting responses and has been set to automatically closed by, and you can add your email. Now this is email from owner when submissions are closed. Now you can also choose to close it at a specific date and time. Now when a due date is set on, now you have to select a date. Let's say that we want to close tomorrow at 10 a.m. So if anyone entered this link or this form after 10 a.m. 17th September 2020, he will see this message: this form is no longer accepting responses and has been set to automatically closed. Now if you clicked save and enable, now what I usually do is the following. I usually enable this at a specific time, and I go to my Google Classroom. I create a quiz assignment. Let's remove this. I want to attach the one that we just created, which is called Classroom Quiz 1. Okay, Classroom Quiz 1, click insert. Now quiz. Now I usually don't assign it immediately. I schedule it, so it will only be posted 10 minutes before the deadline. So let's say that I want to make this 10 minutes long. So we added a due date. Let's go back, form limiter. Okay, the due date is 17th at 10 a.m. So I will open it up at 9:50 a.m. on September 17th. So September 17th, and here 9:50. So this post will only be posted tomorrow at 9:50, and students can see this post tomorrow at 9:50. So once they see it, they can enter the Google form, and they have only 10 minutes. So it will be closed at 10 a.m. They have only 10 minutes to solve this, and you need to mention this. You have only 10 minutes to solve it. So it will be posted at a specific time, and it will be closed after 10 minutes. So students will have only 10 minutes to solve this quiz. Now, this is the first method for setting time limit for your quiz or your exam and posting it at a specific time. Now, let's talk about the second method that you can use to set time limit, and it's a more convenient method. Go to the form here, click here and click add-ons. Let's close these. Okay. Now, look for an add-on called Form Scheduler. This is it. Click install. Form Scheduler is basically an add-on that you can use to limit the number of responses and schedule and open or close to the form based on the Google Calendar events. Now, close this and go up here, click Form Scheduler. Now, we have a lot of options. You can configure schedules, you can view scheduled forms, and you can enter settings. So let's click here to configure the form scheduler. Now, schedule to stop at maximum or stop at a specific date and time, or accept during. Now, stop at maximum. Here you need to enter the number of responses that you need to take for this form before it is closed, and it's very similar to the one from the previous plugin. Stop at specific date and time. It's also very similar to the previous one, the previous add-on. Now, the one that's new is accept during calendar events. Now, to add a limit for your quiz, you can simply do that by going here, go to the plugin that we just installed, click Configure Schedules, and now you need to check the third option, Accept During Calendar Events. Now you need to select the class, which is class 1, and you need to open up the calendar. You can click here to open it up, or you can go back here and click calendar in your class. Now this is our calendar. Now to open our Google Calendar, we can click here. So calendar.google.com. Now this is our calendar. We need to make sure that we add the exam event. This is it. Now you need to change Coding Academy to Google Classroom 1 to make sure that this event is added under the Google Classroom 1, and the exam time will be September 19th from 11:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. Click Save. Now we have an exam event. So let's go back to the Google. Now here you need to click on this icon to see the events, and right here we have the exam. Once you select that, we can simply accept, or this form is now only accepting answers at the exam time, which is basically from 11:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. on Saturday, September 19th. Now just click Save. as you can see, this is it. Based on the exam event occurrence, your form will be opened and closed at the following time. Opening time, 19th September at 8:30 a.m. to 19th September at 9:30 a.m. Now, this change in time is because of the calendar time. Now, as you can see here, we have 11:30 and here we have 8:30 a.m. Now, what you can do is simple. You can go back here and use the time difference. So we know that here it's 8:30. So if you want the exam, now it's 11:30. So we have like 8 to 11. We have 4 or 3 hour difference. So we can change this to from 11:30. We can add 3 more hours. So it will be 12, 1, 2:30 to 3:30. Now let's go back, click save. Okay, now it's from 11:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. This is a glitch, most likely, and to avoid it, you can add the exam time here and announce it at a different time there in the quiz form. Now, the third option that you can use to add time limit is a plugin called Quilgo. Now, copy the name and paste it or write it here. And this is the plugin. It's used more than 10 million people are using it. So click once, click install, continue, choose Coding Academy, which is your email address. Okay, then allow. Okay, now you can find it in the plugins window, and you can, or you must continue this step, which is to complete additional setup. Click once here. It will ask you to create an account. Click join now. Sign in with Google. Choose your account. And that's it. This is the terms and conditions. I accept. Here you need to fill your information. Personal education. Here you can set a password. Save your account and save it. Now you need to copy this. You can select it and copy it, or click copy and go to the Google form. Click here and choose this plugin. Click configure. And here you need to paste the key. It will be a single key that will only works for you. Now click enable. Now as you can see, add-on enabled. Now they have added a submission ID field, and it is needed to record form submission time. So students will skip this. They shouldn't answer anything in this field, but you should keep it, because without it they won't be able, or Quilgo won't be able to record the time. Quilgo requires the form to be unrestricted, so you need to keep the required sign-in, which is basically this, collect email addresses. So the form won't require people to sign in to be able to use this. Now, the third thing is that they keep edit after submit and show link to submit another response setting off. So you need to go to the setting, edit after submit, and see summary must be off. Okay, click save. And this is to prevent the respondents from modifying answers after form submission. Now, the next step is going to the Quilgo website. Now, as you can see, congrats with your first Google form at Quilgo. They have created a couple of demo online tests, links one with a 30-minute timer and another one with a 1-minute timer with camera tracking feature. Now, the camera tracking feature will make sure that your student is in front of his device and his camera is on. Unlike at Google, at Quilgo, each respondent should have their own unique test link to the form. So each of your students will get a unique link to this form. Now, you can open the demo test, and as you can see, this is the form, and this is telling the student that he has only 30 minutes to solve it. Once he click open the form, it will open up, as you can see, and this is the timer. It will show up a timer for each of your students, and the student will solve this quiz. And as you can see, this is the key that will help you track your student. Now, once he solved the quiz and writes his name, now once the student clicks submit, as you can see, your response has been submitted, your form was successfully submitted. Thank you. So the quiz is over and it has a time limit, so after 30 minutes this quiz will close. Now let's try out the second demo test. This is 1 minute, and it's basically it has a camera tracking enabled feature that will force the student to open up his camera so that you can see who's solving the test. So click once. The form you have attempt to open has time limitation, so 1 minute is only the amount of time that the student has to solve this. Once he click open the form, it will tell him that camera tracking is enabled for this form, and he need to agree. He need to click yes, I give my context to record, store, and show my video to the form sender, who's the teacher. Or he can click no, proceed with camera tracking. Now, most likely you must tell your students before that they must have a camera on the device that they will use to solve the exam. And this is basically a way to prevent cheating. Click yes. Now, as you can see, it's asking me to open up my camera, and I will open up my camera. So click allow. As you can see, I'm putting a piece of paper in front of the camera. Now my camera works. Click open the form. Now he has only 1 minute and the camera is recording, so you can answer the questions and click submit. That's it. Now once you submit the form, the camera will turn off. And thank you, your form was successfully submitted. You have to click here, and as you can see, now finished in time, always in focus, which means that he didn't leave his browser, and the same thing here. Now this is the demo and this is another demo. When you click here, you can change the name for your demo, and basically you can send the test to your students. Each one will have his own unique ID, and you will get the results here with each of your students' email address, and you can check the answers. Now when you go back to your form, you will see the student responses. As you can see, we have two responses, Ashraf and AS, and these are their answers, and this is the unique submission ID that you can use to track the student using this form. And this is basically how easy it is. You can create another test. You can add the email or name for your respondent. You can enable camera tracking. It's a beta feature. You can hide the timer or show it. You can auto close form when the time is over. You can allow to view quiz score and results after submission. Now that's it. This is the second way or the third way that you can use to set time limit for your Google form inside the Google Classroom. Thanks for watching this lesson. If you have any question, please ask in the Q&A board. Hello and welcome to this new lesson in which I'm going to show you how easily you can create a certificate for Google Quiz. Now, the first step will be going to the plugins or add-ons. Now, look for Certify, M, and this is the plugin. Click once, click install, choose your Google account, click allow, and now you are done. Now click here, click on the certify M. Let's close this. Click on the certify. Now show certify M control. This is it. Now click confirm. As you can see, you need to turn it on. And the passing mark is 80%. So anyone who answers the quiz and gets less than 5 or 6 points won't get a certificate. Now you can choose a template. They already have a lot of templates. You can preview all of them by clicking here. This is the brown, this is the black frame, this is the golden, and this is the purple. I think the red one looks nice. Okay, the trophy one looks nice, so let's choose the trophy. Now you have like 100 email remaining, which basically means that you have up to 100 email that can be sent. And as you can see from here, daily email quota, your email quota is set by Google, not Certify Me, and resets approximately every 24 hours. This maximum number of emails you can send per day depends on your account type and cannot be increased by Certify Me. So you have 100 email per day. Now you can click advanced to see the advanced settings here. As you can see, this is the message. Thank you for your submission. This is the name of the sender and the subject of the email. So the name of the sender, let's say that you need to write your name, Ashraf Coding Academy. Ashraf of Coding Academy, your certificate. Now these will be inside the email, and you can send a PCC copy of the certificate to your email, and you can send it in PDF form or image form. I will leave it to PDF. Using email, time zone, you can change your time zone depending on your country, and the date format is automatic. That's it. Now click Save Changes. That's it now. And let's test this out. Now let's click once here. This is our email, and let's write our email address, your name, and let's answer all of these questions correctly. Okay, this form field is, let's remove it. We won't need it now. Refresh the page. It was for tracking something else. Okay. Again, your email, your name, and click submit. Now, if you passed, you will receive a printable certificate shortly. Now, let me check my email to make sure that I did receive the certificate in PDF form. Okay, as you can see here, this email sent automatically using Certify Me for Google Forms, your certificate, and this is Ashraf of Coding Academy. The subject, your certificate, and the body is your certificate, and here is the certificate in PDF form. Now, this certificate declares that Ashraf, which is my name, I did wrote it, has completed the classroom quiz on September 16th, 2020 with a passing score of 100%. As you can see, you have a certificate ID you can use for reference, and you can print it out It's in PDF form, and it's a very nice way to, let's say, encourage your students and let them interact with the online platform. Each time they solve an exam or a quiz, you can send them a certificate like that. They will feel happy and they will feel accomplished, and they will show it to others to encourage them to do the same. That's it for this lesson. Thanks for watching. This is Ashraf of Coding Academy.